I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. The Southwest TV Translators Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we assemble the best and most interesting news we can find from the area, and Jerry Tope brings you the local weather and related news. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
Today's show is live on Tuesday at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8, and again re-aired on Friday at noon, 2:30 and 8. It's November 15th, 2016. Here's the news. If you've traveled through Cortez lately, you've come across their road construction project. The state highway project that began this summer threatens to continue through Thanksgiving. And according to a report in the Cortez Journal, some Cortez business owners are growing impatient. U.S. Highway 491 and the surrounding area in Cortez has been under construction since early June as the Colorado Department of Transportation repaves the road and installs utilities. The intersection between the highway and Lebanon Road has been closed since early October, cutting off easy access to several businesses. While CDOT's website originally estimated the road would be open by October 26, a water main break and other issues have delayed the project, and it is now predicted to last into late November. According to Lawson Construction's recorded hotline, Lebanon was scheduled to reopen on November 12th as of last Thursday, but the company's owner, Ken Lawson, said it would probably take about 2 weeks to open. Part of the project involves straightening out Lebanon Road so that it intersects with the highway perpendicularly. That means several of the road's utilities, like fiber optic cables and drainage systems, needed to be relocated. Lawson said the city's utility companies, which were responsible for some of those relocations, took longer than expected to get everything in order at the beginning of the project. But he hopes, weather permitting, to have Lebanon Road opened as well as 2 full lanes of traffic running on the highway by Thanksgiving. CDOT's Region 5 Communications Director, Lisa Schwantes, says it has been much more complicated than anticipated. She said construction crews will be working Saturdays throughout November in order to beat the cold weather, although there are stipulations in their contracts that require them to take certain days off, especially during the week of Thanksgiving. An unrelated CDOT project in Montezuma County involving repairs on the Narragansett Canal Bridge on Highway 184 also faced delays in early November. The stretch of road between mile markers 1.2 and 1.4 faced lane closures from October 30th through November 11th. The construction, which was supposed to last a week, was delayed first by rain and then by equipment failure, but CDOT's website announced it was open by 5 p.m. last Friday.
According to the Cortez Journal, Republican President-elect Donald Trump won all but one of Montezuma County's 11 precincts on Tuesday, claiming 60% of the total vote to Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton's 30%. In Montezuma County, of the 12,853 votes for president, 7,771 votes went for Trump and 3,920 went for Clinton. His platform resonated with local voters because we agreed that smaller government and less regulations, such as for the energy sector, will create jobs, said Danny Wilkin, Republican Party chairman for Montezuma County. We've been struggling the last 8 years under Obama and look forward to better times. Precinct 6, which includes the Ute Mountain Reservation and Toyac, is the only precinct that favored Clinton, who garnered 187 votes to Trump's 39 votes. Regina White Skunk, who recently served on the Ute Mountain Tribal Council, said many Utes felt more comfortable with Clinton because she had a division within her campaign specifically focused on Native American issues. She said there was less indication from the Trump campaign that tribal issues were a priority. It is up to individual tribes to make connections with the new White House to educate the new administration on the issues, including tribal sovereignty, treaties, water rights, and land, White Skunk said. Voters in Cortez supported Trump overall.
The Environmental Protection Agency announced Monday it would prefer to continue operations at the temporary water treatment plant that handles discharges out of the Gold King mine while the agency continues to evaluate long-term options. That according to a Durango Herald report. Before the EPA makes that decision final, a public comment period that began Monday will run to December 14th. Chris Wardell of U.S. EPA Region 8 said in a news release, as EPA understands more about the hydrology of the area and how various sources of contamination are affecting water quality, the agency will consider any number of options, including potential expansion of the IWTP to address the contamination. The second option considered in the report released Monday was to mothball the $1.5 million water treatment plant, which was built 2 months after an EPA contracted crew on August 5, 2015, breached the portal of the Gold King mine, releasing 3 million gallons of mined water waste down the Animas River. The treatment plant's high cost of operation, as well as the need to deal with the lime-heavy metal sludge byproduct, led officials tasked with improving water quality in the Animas River watershed to find another option. As of last week, the average flow rate into the treatment plant was 712 gallons per minute, and it cost about $16,000 per week to operate. If the EPA, after reviewing public comments, formally decides to continue operations, the agency will move the plant from emergency removal action funding to non-time critical removal action, which falls under the proper Superfund process. This fall, the EPA officially declared 48 mining sites around Silverton as the Bonita Peak Mining District Superfund site. As reported yesterday, the EPA is holding meetings all this week to discuss updates to the Superfund site work.
According to the Cortez Journal, Mancos last Tuesday approved a levy to help fund library costs. The vote on Mancos 4A was 1,207 to 630, with 65.7% of voters approving the levy. Library Director Lee Halberg said he appreciates all the energy, time, and effort that went into the measure from staff, volunteers, board members, and others. I'm extremely pleased with the outcome, he said. I can't express how fortunate I feel to live in Mancos. Julia Wellinen, who is a member of the Political Action Committee that supported the measure, said there will be great expectations for the library moving forward. Our community values our Mancos Public Library and what it has to offer, and it shows through the votes, she said on Wednesday. The Mancos Library District asked voters for permission to increase the mill levy by 2 mills to cover increasing operating costs. The library had more than 61,000 visits in 2015 and is vital for the Mancos middle and high schools, which do not have libraries. About $83,000 has been cut from the library's yearly operating budget, but the library is still trying to provide the same amount of programming. The library has a debt service of $1.5 million. Library board member Jacqueline Doyle told Mancos trustees at a July meeting. If approved, the measure would cost homeowners in Mancos about $2 per month, Doyle said. For businesses, the cost would be about $9 per month. Library board members also are considering refinancing the $1.5 million debt, but cannot do so until 2017, she said.
The Durango Herald reported that after holding classes in a church basement, an airport hangar, and now in rented space in a 1950s-era building belonging to Durango School District 9R, the Liberty School is getting ready to build a school of its very own. The private school uses specialized curriculum, teachers, and tutors to work with students who have dyslexia, are intellectually gifted, or are twice exceptional, dyslexic, and intellectually gifted, not uncommon. The school site is a 9-acre parcel along Junction Creek north of Four Corners Healthcare Center. The parcel was annexed into the city of Durango and granted a special use permit earlier this year. Liberty head of school Christian Holman said, "We're only going to build on 1 to 2 acres and the rest will be pretty much untouched. We'll use it as outdoor classrooms to be vibrant backdrops for videos, enjoy the apples from the apple trees, install webcams to watch wildlife, including bears and mountain lions, and just have an awareness of wildlife habitat." Teachers have already conducted science classes on the site. The school agreed to 16 concessions for the special use permit, including not having a gymnasium with a raised roof and offsetting its entrance on Western Avenue between Hawker and Pleasant Streets to slow traffic in the residential neighborhood. One amenity recently added is a loop trail through wild brush to Junction Creek. Neighbors are using it for strolls and to walk their dogs, and they're welcome to do so. The school has raised $1.8 million of its $3.5 million goal, which includes the value of the land given by a donor. Janet Wiley Architects designed the school, which can be built in 3 phases if the entire $3.5 million isn't raised quickly enough. The school has 27 students, and Phase 1 will allow it to accept up to 32 students. When fully built, the school will accommodate up to 49 students, the maximum allowed under the special use permit. The goal is to raise the money quickly so construction can begin in December and the school can open for the fall semester in August. District 9R had planned to put its new charter, the Juniper School, in Liberty Space because the second floor of the old Arts and Sciences building is not handicapped accessible, a requirement for a public school. The district is looking for another site for Juniper, said Don Snowberger, 9R superintendent. Juniper, which is scheduled to open for the 2017-2018 school year, will be an elementary school combining elements of Montessori and project-based learning. To learn more about the Liberty School and to donate, visit them online at thelibertyschool.org or call 385-4834.
According to the Dove Creek Press, Atmos Energy urges customers to start planning now to stay safe and warm while saving energy and money this winter. By making a few household changes, customers can use energy more wisely, which can make a big difference in how much you spend on energy bills. Explore their online tools, including an energy calculator and the Home Energy Snapshot, to discover low-cost strategies and tips for saving energy, money, and to keep your family warm this winter. Now for some winter safety and weatherization tips. Have a qualified appliance repair or heating service company inspect your gas furnaces and appliances. Install a carbon monoxide detector, caulk around windows and doors to prevent air leaks and ensure that warm air stays inside your home. Set your water heater temperature to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And for more information, visit www.atmosenergy.com/wintertips. And now here's our weather report.
Consistent with prior forecasts, the remainder of today and most of tomorrow will be mild and warm. High clouds begin to arrive tonight. Tomorrow is expected to give near record high temps with those clouds moving in. And tomorrow at around 8 a.m. wind speeds will begin to climb and may reach the mid-20s by noon. And whatever level is reached will likely remain through Thursday and drop off to normal levels by Thursday night. Wind levels may be higher to our north during that time. Also, tomorrow afternoon should see a squeezing of warmth as the outgoing high resists the incoming low, so temps are still likely to be warm for the day and then cool quickly into the evening and night. Numerous showers are expected Thursday, most to be north of I-70, and then move along the divide and wrap around and cover a wider area. The dry warming trend is still forecast for the weekend after a cold Friday night and Saturday morning. The low on the east coast will continue to move northeastward along the mid-Atlantic and northeastern U.S. coastline today and Wednesday. The system will produce widespread rain and portions of the coastal northern mid-Atlantic region to the New England area today and tomorrow. Locally, heavy rainfall will be possible. Across the western U.S., a Pacific storm system will move onshore today, spreading rain and high elevation snows into the northwest and northern Intermountain region to the northern Rockies tomorrow. Snow levels will lower and cover a wider area across the interior western U.S. on Wednesday and Wednesday night. Thursday morning, the system will begin to move from the Rockies into the Central Plains with the potential for snow spreading into the portions of the northern high plains by that time. High pressure will remain in place across the central U.S. today and Wednesday, making for general dryness and well above average temperatures, forecast to be 15 to 25 degrees above average across the plains and portions of the upper Midwest today and Wednesday. Across the southeast, wildfires across the southern Appalachians will continue to spread smoke across northern Georgia, eastern Tennessee, and western portions of the Carolinas. These areas may experience reduced visibilities as well as unhealthy air quality. Temperatures forecast to be in from the mid-60s, lowering to the mid-40s, and then climbing back to the upper 50s. The small amounts of moisture, if any at all, are likely to be rain during the day and snow or freezing rain at night, possibly some snow. Lows continue to fluctuate in forecasts, as you see here, but Thursday and Friday night, the single digits and teens are the highlights. Now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, representatives from Air Products and Chemicals, a global company headquartered in Allentown, Pennsylvania, that owns and operates the Doe Canyon helium plant in Cajon, recently made a significant donation to Southwest Colorado Community College through the Pueblo Community College Foundation. Site manager Darren McCarty and Elizabeth Ann O'Hare from Doe Canyon Helium presented checks totaling $3,500 to welding instructors Robert Reed and Cody Hager and student Leah Shar. Welding students from SCCC visited the helium plant as part of a field trip this year and made a positive impression on McCarty. Our company's foundation believes in giving back to the community, and this community college is deserving, McCarty said. We appreciate the training that SCCC offers to the people of southwestern Colorado. The Doe Canyon plant is the only one in the world extracting helium from a gas stream composed primarily of carbon dioxide. McCarty explained that helium is scarce today, and the helium they extract and liquefy was already sold before the facility was built. According to Air Products, helium is used in a variety of applications, such as the cooling of superconductive magnets used in magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI. Helium is also used in the manufacturing of semiconductors and fiber optic cable, the aerospace industry, commercial diving, and in the filling of weather balloons.
As promised yesterday, the subject today is Antarctic ice. So, here is the myth. Ice covering much of Antarctica is expanding, contrary to the belief that the ice cap is melting due to global warming. Science says the argument that ice is expanding on Antarctica omits the fact that there's a difference between land ice and sea ice. Climate scientists say if you're talking about the Antarctic ice sheet, they expect some gain in accumulation in the interior due to, guess what? Warmer, more moisture-laden air. But also there will be increased calving and ice loss at the periphery, primarily due to warming southern oceans. Climate scientist Michael Mann of Pennsylvania State University told Live Science that the net change in ice mass is the difference between this accumulation and the peripheral loss. Models traditionally have projected that this difference doesn't become negative. This means that the net loss of Antarctic ice sheet mass was not supposed to occur for at least several decades. Mann said what has already begun was not what was predicted, and he adds that detailed gravimetric measurements, which look at changes in the Earth's gravity over spots to estimate, among other things, ice mass. These measurements suggest the Antarctic ice sheet is already losing ice mass and contributing to sea level rise. Now, for sea ice, this type of ice is influenced by year-to-year changes in wind directions and changes in ocean currents. For sea ice, it's tricky to identify a clear trend, Mann says. But in future reports, we'll take a look at the data and science on that as well.
According to the Dove Creek Press, first there was the smartphone, then came the smart car. Now get ready for the smart house, says the Association of Mature American Citizens. The shape-shifting home is the brainchild of a pair of British architects who plan to build the first of its kind abode in Cambridgeshire, UK, some 60 miles north of London. The house has a permanent core that houses plumbing, electricity, and other key components. But the exterior structure has a mind of its own that senses the climatic conditions and reshapes itself, letting in the warmth and sunlight of summer and keeping out the wind and colder temperatures of winter. The house literally unfolds itself. The internal walls become external walls, doors become windows, and windows become doors. A house like this has never been done before in the history of architecture, and we believe that creating buildings that can adapt and change is a much more sustainable way of living, according to the designer.
At the Montezuma County League of Women Voters meeting on Saturday, the focus was on the next generation. As reported in the Cortez Journal, Zoe Nelson, executive director of the Montezuma School to Farm project, was the group's guest speaker for the month. She gave a presentation on the benefits of creating school gardens and teaching sustainable agriculture to elementary and middle school students, and how the project has grown since its beginning in 2009. About a dozen members of the League chapter attended the meeting, and they all promised to support the agricultural program in the future. She said, part of what our mission is to be working in the gardens, but then also working with the teachers to support academic learning. This movement can revitalize our schoolyards. She showed pictures from the Cortez Middle School garden where students help to grow and harvest crops just a few feet away from the highway. Several schools in Mancos, Dolores, and Cortez offer school-to-farm classes. Dove Creek started a school garden last year as well. The Montezuma County project currently includes 6 gardens, with a 7th on the way for next year. Nelson estimated about 1,600 students were involved this year. She hopes next year to be able to hire a full-time project manager to run the school farms. Right now, each garden has a part-time garden coordinator who is matched with an AmeriCorps Direct Service Manager to oversee the project. Members of the league had many questions for Nelson about the program, such as where the funding comes from, mostly from city school districts and federal grants, and how the program encourages sustainable agriculture. Nelson also talked about the fundraiser efforts she is planning for the program this year. One fundraising event, a photography show made up of pictures from the School to Farm program, will be held today, Tuesday, November 15th, in Mancos.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of November 7th through the 13th. A local business requested a deputy to discuss a theft problem. The report is being investigated. A deputy investigated a report of harassment. Deputies investigated a report of an abandoned vehicle in town. The vehicle was having mechanical problems. A household cordless phone was found and turned into the sheriff's office. A deputy completed a civil standby in town. That's it for today's roundup. Stay tuned for more updates later this week.
Rock the Holiday 2016 is underway here in Dove Creek, so keep in mind the following dates. There will be 75 turkeys free to whomever needs them November 21st at the Rock Outreach Building starting at 5 p.m. for Dolores County residents. Once we get through Thanksgiving, then Santa Claus is coming to town December 5th at the Rock Outreach Building at 5 p.m. So have your children get their letters ready to give to him. Replies will be made with treats, gloves, hats, and it's all free. They say thank you to each and every one who adopted an angel or two this year. They have 45 angels with 23 families. All of your help and support for these programs is deeply appreciated. Fort Lewis College in Durango always has interesting events going on. Thursday, November 17th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at Maria's Bookshop on 960 Main Avenue in Durango. There's a free event. Join local bird enthusiasts for a release party for the second Colorado Breeding Bird Atlas. The Atlas project was headed by Lynn Wickersham, a research associate with the San Juan Institute of Natural and Cultural Resources at FLC. You can contact her for more details by email wickersham_l@fortlewis.edu. Friday, November 18th, poet and storyteller David Fila will be presenting at 10 a.m. at the Cortez Public Library, 202 North Park Street. It's free. For details, call 565-8117. And if you were considering taking a movie in Cortez at the Allen Fiesta Theater on Main Street, there are 2 films showing. Trolls the movie stars, of course, animated troll doll characters. The plot summary is that after a forest tribe of cotton candy-colored, shock-headed trolls discover that they're the new favorite gourmet treat for King Gristle, the unlikely duo of Bubbly Poppy and Worrywart Branch must rescue their friends from the Royals' chef. It's rated PG and lasts 1 hour and 32 minutes. By the way, a troll doll is a type of plastic doll with furry, upcombed hair depicting a troll, also known as a dam doll, after their creator, Danish woodcutter Thomas Dam, according to the wiki entry. The toys are also known as Good Luck Trolls, or alternatively, Gonk Trolls in the United Kingdom. The dolls were originally created in 1959 and became one of the United States' biggest toy fads in the early 60s. They then had a resurgence of popularity in the 1970s through the 90s when several video games were created featuring these entities. In 2010, DreamWorks Animation bought the Troll brand outright from Dam and began development of the movie you can see today. And if you're more into reading a book, try Steve Quayle's Little Creatures. That's a book which explores the legends and stories of elves, fairies, gnomes, fisher folk, rural cottagers, country parsons, and Irish mystics. Check through his site at stevequayle.com, where he has a host of fascinating and well-researched books, including one titled Empire Beneath the Ice and another called Weather Wars, which may provide you with some interesting myth-busting analysis. The other movie is Doctor Strange. That plot synopsis starts after a car accident leaves Doctor Strange, played by actor Benedict Cumberbatch, with nerve damage that ends his career as a New York neurosurgeon. Stephen Strange travels to Kathmandu in the hope of finding an otherworldly cure for his injuries. There, a powerful mystic known as the Ancient One accepts him as her pupil and trains him in the art of sorcery. Eventually, Strange must use his new powers to stop a rival from causing chaos by accessing the dark dimension. It has great reviews so far and is rated PG-13 and runs 1 hour and 55 minutes. All of the happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays of the live show and the DCTV 5-day forecast. Email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on the air.
Thanks for tuning in. A reminder that this program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and again aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 2:30, and 8 p.m. each day, respectively.
And again, be sure to check out our Facebook page with original stories and all the event details. Please like us there and share the link.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.